So Usman, I'm really excited to catch up with you here on the Orange stand at Mobile World Congress, and I think goal today is to kind of cover some of the key takeaways from the show. Obviously, a telecommunications heavy show, but as you walk around the FIRA, huge emphasis on generative artificial intelligence. So I'd really love to hear from you what you're hearing from your customers. What do they want out of Gen AI? What do they want from Orange?
Yeah, Sean, I think great to be here. And AI is everywhere, as you say. I think what I notice is, first of all, the adoption of AI is happening, right? Everybody's talking about it. GSMA talk about the research that they have done. 60% of MNOs, service providers, are using Gen AI in some shape or form. And almost half of them have actually increased their budget from 15 to 25% of their digital budget dedicated to AI. So adoption is there. Now, next question you ask is, okay, do you see the return on investment? Well, I think that yet to be seen. A lot of experimentation, a lot of adoption. Most of the use cases are about documents management, knowledge management, as an assistant, as a co-pilot, and so on. But can you put a number in terms of the return on investment? Not yet, for which we need to wait to be creating use cases which are more job line specific and sort of a little bit going down the path of agentic, but not really, but have to be relevant for specific job lines. So I think a lot of experimentation, but there is still a lot of technical challenges that need to be overcome, right? If you look at security, I think Cisco published a study which says that 90% of the models are actually falling short of the prompt hacking, and DeepSeek actually failed all of the prompt hacking attempts, right? So DeepSeek have come up with some good thoughts in terms of model efficiency and so on, but then security challenges remain. So I think a lot of technology development needs to remain happening, but a lot of development also on speech-to-speech and speech-based model that have come a long way over the last year. So in a nutshell, a lot of adoption, return on investment to be seen. However, technology challenges remain to be resolved as well.
So a lot to unpack there, but I mean, things are moving in the direction of not just more adoption, but more spending on that adoption. You noted a few areas where ROI needs to sort of crystallize, but I guess when you look across your enterprise customer base, first, how would you generally describe the level of maturity? And then I guess second, when I think about a successful technological transformation, in this case AI, it often needs to come hand in hand with a successful organizational transformation, which, not to discount the technology piece, but is often more difficult. But just to that maturity point, what are you seeing? And then beyond the technology, the organizational overhaul, what are you seeing?
Oh, absolutely. I think every single CEO is actually excited about AI opportunity. I mean, Gartner did a research which said, okay, 96% of the CEOs are really excited about it, but how many are ready? And we did a survey of our customers, large enterprises around the world who have taken first step on Gen AI. And what we found is that they don't have the infrastructure that they need in terms of driving that transformation. So we had 96% of the customers, large enterprises, who said their cybersecurity is not ready. 43% said that they have to modernize their network infrastructure. And we had 81% they have to rethink their cloud strategy, because in Gen AI you need to think about where your data is it compliant, can you use it, what is the level of hallucination, is that ethical, is that responsible, is that compliant? So there are many questions to be answered for which you need to have your foundations right, which is your digital infrastructure. So as a telco player in the industry, that's one of the big areas of focus for us. We have invested in building a platform that orchestrates the cloud, the connectivity, and the cybersecurity together into a platform that offers services on which AI can be built. A good example is a healthcare customer. And in the healthcare industry, one of the big challenges is the shortage of radiologists. And we have this healthcare customer, they wanted to fix that problem, to take the doctors away from spending too much time on reading the scans to actually, the diagnosis which could be done with AI. And they wanted to build an AI companion for radiologists. But they could not do it because the network could not carry that heavy, high definition traffic of images and scans on real-time basis and with the right data privacy compliance. So we helped them to build this infrastructure, the network infrastructure that would carry that traffic on real time and help the AI companion to do the diagnosis and share the results with the doctors, so the doctors can just go with those results and complete their analysis.
Yeah, you make some really good points there. There's so much emphasis on adopting AI from the C-suite or the board level down. You all need to be doing something with AI, but when you start to do that, you find these other soft spots in the organization, whether that's legacy infrastructure or maybe an incomplete cloud strategy and so forth. I guess one thing I've noticed walking around the FIRA is I see a lot of point solutions. We have something that is being replaced by AI, but we don't have a system yet. And that's really when you get into that high level transformation, it takes a system. So I guess, how do you think your customers should approach this idea of investing incrementally while thinking holistically?
Absolutely, I think it's an excellent question. And point solutions is not going to solve it, or it may solve one problem, but it won't drive large scale adoption. And for that, I think that's what our enterprise customers are telling us. They want to take a platform strategy. The platform strategy is valid for at an infrastructure level, which is where they can consume the infrastructure, whether they need cloud, cybersecurity, connectivity in a platform model. So they would have consistency of services and infrastructure offered for all different types of use cases. And then secondly, they need to also achieve consistency at a level of when they develop the use cases. So they have common Lego blocks, model layers that they can leverage, which they don't need to reinvent compliance, reinvent security for every single use case. And that's what we are doing in terms of our portfolio. We are launching platform offers at a digital infrastructure level. We launched a platform called Evolution Platform, and we have now real customers on it, and I gave an example of that healthcare customer. And we also launched another platform for Gen AI, which is called Live Intelligence.
So I am also curious, Usman, when you look at the markets in Europe where Orange operates, do you see any nuance or focus areas as it relates to artificial intelligence that may not be present in other markets?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And to be honest, Europe has a different mindset. And let me just explain that. First of all, the approach that Europe take is a bit different from the US. We want to balance in Europe the regulation with innovation. And hence the approach is very responsible, ethical, and trusted AI. And this is where Europe is really focusing on. Last year in Europe, European Commission announced EU AI Act, which is one of the most comprehensive AI regulation that exists in the industry in terms of safeguarding against the harmful use of AI. The second thing I like to mention is the investment. Yes, Europe has been behind in terms of investment, but Europe is catching up. If you have followed the AI summit that happened in Paris, the French president announced $109 billion of investment, private investment into AI. The European Commission announced $200 billion of investment into AI. And also they created in European Commission AI Champion Initiative with 60 European companies coming together from startups to large enterprises, and that would raise another $160 billion of investment. So a lot of investments are coming in. Europe realized to the fact that this investment is needed. Now this investment would help to drive more ecosystem in Europe. Today the ecosystem is very non-European centric. We do have some players like Mistral, like Lighton, and in Orange Business we strike partnership with Mistral, leveraging their models in our Live Intelligence platform. We also have partnership with Lighton. But at the same time, we work with all the other ecosystem players. We partner with OpenAI, with Meta on developing African languages and open-weight them. So there is a lot of ecosystem, but that ecosystem in Europe is being developed through that investment, and the ecosystem that exists worldwide, we're capitalizing that by following the right compliance regulation within Europe.
So you described a lot of dynamics there that all sort of interplay with one another. Another one that I'd add in there to get your opinion on and maybe understand how operators can play is sovereign cloud, keeping data local, keeping AI local within a country to safeguard industry, to safeguard individuals.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of regulation that I talk about is going to enable enterprises to have a choice. Right, and that's exactly what we did when we launched Live Intelligence platform, which is a Gen AI platform. So the enterprises can come out of this shadow Gen AI, which is many enterprises are struck with, right? Employees are using Gen AI, but not all of that is compliant use. So we want enterprises to use Live Intelligence platform. This platform is used by 60,000 employees of Orange. You can see at our stand a demo where we have an assisted technician use case, which is talking to Live Intelligence platform in real time through a video conference and getting support on fixing an industrial machine, and then on the live intelligence platform is on real-time guiding in terms of what the steps to take. So we have enabled this platform, and that is available in two different modes, so to speak. I think one is what you talk about, sovereign. We have enterprises like public sector in many European countries who want to have their data to be resident in a very compliant cloud infrastructure. So we can offer live intelligence, we call it in a trust proposition, where we can host all the infrastructure, the models, the training, the GPUs in a very dedicated infrastructure, and on top you can still use live intelligence platform to develop your use cases based on the model that you want. And we also have live intelligence available in an open mode, which is where you can leverage public cloud with data residency in Europe, and you can do the same as you do with live intelligence trust. So really sovereignty is an important topic, but I believe at the end it's a choice that the enterprises have to make. And we need to make sure that we offer that choice to enterprises.
Yeah, you mentioned live intelligence. I had an opportunity to walk around the stand before we sat down. There's a lot to see, a lot to learn. Any other specific Orange solutions that you'd like to highlight for our audience?
Yeah, clearly I think platform approach is the approach that we are taking, and live intelligence is our route to that. So we want enterprises to leverage Gen AI in their ways of working. And we want them not to be limited by sovereignty challenges, compliance challenges, and challenges regarding data residency. So all these challenges we can fix leveraging live intelligence platform. And at the same time, we're taking a very digital inclusive approach where we are partnering with Meta and with OpenAI in terms of languages and new languages that we can bring to the platform. So really a comprehensive approach. And in live intelligence, our vision is also to create some job line use cases and some agentic AI use cases as it comes. So that would allow to solve problem in specific job lines for HR, for finance, for contracting, and so on. So that's our sort of approach to the market. And we believe that live intelligence is beneficial for all customers of all sizes, from the small SMBs who may have very small use cases like finding information. An SMB lose around 4 hours a week per employee in terms of finding information and finding the right documents and so on. We can create those type of use cases all the way to industrial use cases that we are demonstrating, which would be very relevant for large manufacturing customers to be more efficient.
So I guess last question here, Usman, and this is the forward-looking one. There's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of energy. As you pointed out, we're working very hard to strike the right balance between innovation and regulation. How do we take this forward? How do we take this forward in a way that benefits companies, your company, my company, and individuals? What's next?
Absolutely, and I think if you step back and look at this wave of innovation with Gen AI, clearly we are moving from an experimental phase to a scaling phase, and scaling phase has got its own challenges, right? And I believe there are two major challenges that we have to overcome. I think the first one is trust, and trust has got different definitions, where you come from, right? So it's about compliance, it's about security, it's about being ethical, it's about being responsible. And that is a role that we believe as a service providers and as Orange, we have to play in terms of offering trusted AI solutions. And I think the second challenge that we have is more around frugality, and make sure we are leveraging AI in the most responsible way, in a more sustainable way. And that's another thing that we need to look at from an evolution perspective. But I want to make an important point for Mobile World Congress and also this telco industry. I mean, if you look at the telco industry's history, right, we had the first wave of mobility, and telcos created a lot of value in the mobile ecosystem, but they were very limited value they were able to capture for themselves. So I felt like in mobility we lost the plot because we were not able to sort of protect the value and left the value for a lot for the ecosystem. Then we came the wave of cloud, and actually the same thing happened. Now this is the third wave, and I believe we should not do the mistakes that we've done in the past, and we need to be taking a platform approach in terms of protecting our assets, creating value around it and value for the ecosystem, but we also capture enough value for ourselves. So really I see AI is a lifeblood for our industry in order to be sustainable and grow further in revenue going forward.
Excellent. Well, Usman, you gave us some really practical advice here, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share your insights with our audience.
Sean, it's always great to talk to you and to RCR Wallace. Thank you very much.